What's going on, everybody? Today is May 11th, 2020. In this video, we're going to talk about the death of rapper Nick Blixky, who was murdered last night at the age of 21, just 4 blocks from his home in Brooklyn, New York. Here we're going to talk about the Eclipse crucifixion code. Now, last week, I predicted that on May 11th, we were likely to see a significant eclipse sacrifice. In the description below, you'll find links to the deaths of previous rappers who also died by this code. Nipsey Hussle, XXXTentacion, Juice WRLD, just to name a few. You'll also find a video called Eclipse Crucifixion Code, which is my explanation, my presentation about this code, how it's constructed. And every time we see a rapper death in the media, we see alignments to this Eclipse Crucifixion Code. So, although this man died last night, late on May 10th, news of his death was not published until today, May 11th. And if you're familiar with my work, you know I look at both dates when this occurs and explain how they're both significant. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Now, Nick Blixky's birth date, his date of birth, is not actually known yet from what I could find. But we're going to look at his Gematria, as well as some numerology surrounding his album called Different Timin', which is set to be released 3 weeks and 3 days after his death. So let's dive right in here. Now, on this channel, I teach the language of Gematria. This is my calculator, gematrinator.com. And when you come to the calculator, you're going to see the 4 base ciphers to start. The simplest is English ordinal, also called Simple English Gematria. This is the alphabetic order numbered 1 through 26. The reduction ciphers use the rules of numerology to reduce each double-digit number to a single digit, so we'll take a glance at those methods as well. Let's start with the name of the rapper who was killed. The name Nick Blixky sums to 120 using the alphabetic order. N the 14th letter, I the 9th, C the 3rd, and so on. Blixky's real last name was Thompson. And I want to point out how the name Thompson also has Gematria of 120 in the same ordinal cipher. When we flip the alphabet around so that Z is assigned 1, all the way through A is 26, a cipher called reverse, 120 is the value of the word eclipse. And no doubt this man was killed in relation to the Eclipse crucifixion code. So right now is an important period in American history. We're currently between the 2 total solar eclipses that will create an X over the United States of America. The first one in 2017. The second, greater American eclipse, occurring in the year 2024. Of course, it's the coronavirus which has now sacked the United States during this time. The corona, another word for crown, is the name of the atmosphere of the sun, which is only visible during a total solar eclipse. And based on dates relating to these 2 eclipses, I was able to predict dates of significant sacrifices in the past, particularly XXXTentacion. Now, I didn't predict him precisely, but the dates on which these occur are obvious ahead of time. So today is May 11th, and May 11th falls exactly 204 weeks before the greater American eclipse in 2024. So here we are, 204 weeks before the 24 total solar eclipse. Now, on this channel, I also teach Jewish Gematria, also called Latin, on the right side of your screen. This cipher uses the 22-letter Latin alphabet and then places more modern English characters at the end. 23 letters. We'll also glance at English Extended. This is the current 26-letter alphabet, A through Z, structured similarly to Hebrew Gematria and Greek isopsephy. Now, in Jewish Gematria, the phrase crucifixion of Jesus Christ sums to 2040. In the New Testament, during the crucifixion of Jesus, Darkness falls over the sky. Some historians believe this is an eclipse, but certainly the symbolism remains. The death of the sun, the death of the Son of God, all symbolic. You may recall how rapper Mac Miller passed away on September 7th of 2018. That death fell exactly 2,040 days before the Greater American Eclipse in 24. News of Nick Blixky's death falls exactly 204 weeks before the 24 eclipse. Now, last week, I made a video on the death of rapper King Shooter, and 24 was a significant number in his death. He is said to have died from the COVID-19 pandemic, which equals 204. He was 24 years old, and he died on the date leaving 240 days in the year. In fact, 240 days is what separated his two EPs that he released, one of them being released on the 24th of the month, the second one being released on the date 20/4. And then he too died 204 weeks before the 24 eclipse. Well, notice how Nick Blixky, when added to his real name, Thompson, gives us this gematria of 240, again using the standard alphabetic order. Another significant cipher I teach is called Francis Bacon. This uses capital letters. Oh, yeah, never mind. I thought I screwed up my stream for a second there. But anyways, in this Francis Bacon cipher, notice how this upcoming album, Different Timin', has gematria of 204 using capital letters. The reason this is significant is because this was Nick Blixky's final Instagram post prior to his death just a few hours later. And he was announcing that this would be released on June 3rd, and then he was killed right away. And there's some interesting symbolism on this photo. Of course, this woman here holding a gun, this man being shot dead just hours later. Also notice the black and white checkerboard patch on his pants. This is a Masonic symbol. So, it's possible this is someone who faked his death, but I don't really try to speculate on that too much. Just wanted to point that symbolism out. And now, if you measure from the date of his death, which was yesterday, May 10th, to June 3rd, when this album will be released, is exactly 24 days. We also find a lot of significance when we add the artist's name to the album cover. So here you see the full text on the album, Different Timin', Nick Blixky. Notice how in our English extended cipher, this gives us a value of 2126. Well, that number stood out right away. Notice how police were called at approximately 21:26 hours. When do you ever see a news outlet publish a time like this? There should be a colon in between this, or approximately 9:30 p.m., something like that, but it says 21:26. Well, now you understand why, because this album that's coming up has gematria of 21:26. Notice how this is just one digit off 21:27. 21:27 is significant to the 666 code. If you think about 666 days, notice how this is usually 21 months and 27 days. Now, sometimes it's 21 months and 26 days. But notice how 666 equals 48 and 60 in reverse reduction. This is the same as Nick Blixky, which equals 48 and 60. In fact, Nicholas Thompson even equals 87 and 66. 666 equals 87. And of course, the number 666 is significant to the eclipse code. Of course, the Earth's axis tilted 66.6 degrees from the plane to the sun. Sun-moon equals 666. This is a number closely tied to the moon. So we measured to the 2024 eclipse from the date of today's news. But what's also significant here is the number of days since the last total solar eclipse. And this was another big reason I predicted an eclipse sacrifice for this date. Today is exactly 142 weeks after that first Great American Eclipse. 142 is the ordinal value of eclipse sacrifice. So now news of this man's death 142 weeks later. And notice the gematria again of the album cover, Nick Blixky Different Timin', sums to 142 in reverse reduction. What I also found pretty interesting is that if you go to this guy's Instagram page right now, notice how he has 44.8K followers. This representative of the number 448. And in English gematria, eclipse sacrifice equals 448. Now, it's widely believed that Jesus was crucified at age 33. Crucifixion of Jesus Christ equals 303 in ordinal. So does the word eclipse in reduction, 33. Notice how the name Thompson, his real last name, also 33 and 39 like eclipse. And again, measuring from this man's death to the release of his album will be 3 weeks and 3 days. In the reverse alphabetic order, different timin equals 226. 226 is a number that's connected to 33 through gematria. Furthermore, crucifixion of Jesus equals 226 in ordinal. It's also worth looking at his real name's gematria, Nicholas Thompson, summing to 210 in the alphabetic order. Think about how this man died at age 21. 21 is a number connected to moon. Moon equals 21 and 210. As far as the 222 in the reverse alphabetic order, the word eclipse equals 222. And again, during an eclipse, it's the sun that's covered up by the moon. Notice how the sun equals 443. His album Different Timin' equals 443. And then his name Nick Blixky even equals 1443. The number 443 is a prime number. Notice how it's the 86th prime number. And this has a lot of significance. Think about 86 in relation to the number 19. When spelled out, the number 19 sums to 86, which is 19 plus the 19th prime number. Now, in the moon's metonic cycle, it's almost exactly 19 solar years. And think about how sun starts with S, the 19th letter. So 86, the gematria of blood sacrifice. Also the word human sacrifice. 86, a term for offing or getting rid of somebody. So interesting to see this number coded in here. I also want to mention the gematria of just Nick Blixky in Jewish gematria. See how this sums to 803. Nick Blixky's death falls 83 days after the death of Pop Smoke, who was another rapper in the same crew. Shout out to Simple Truth TV for that find in the chat. Well, the number 83, this is significant. The word murder equals 83. In the Hebrew language, both total eclipse and solar eclipse equals 83. And no doubt this man was murdered for the total solar eclipse. Notice how total solar eclipse equals 202. Well, the 202nd prime number is 1231. If you combine his rap name with his stage name, you get 1231. Furthermore, he died in Brooklyn, New York. Notice how Brooklyn, New York equals 223 in ordinal. This is the heat for the moon. And 223 significant for the Saros cycle, which allows us to predict the next solar or lunar eclipse. Nick Blixky was a member of the Blixky Boys. Interesting that Blixky Boys not only equals 2223, but it also equals 1283. And the number 283 is the gematria of the moon in the same cipher. As I pointed out earlier, the moon connected to the number 666 through the language of gematria. One other detail before I finish this video. It was said that he died 4 blocks from his house. Oh, maybe not on this particular article, but if you scan the news, you'll find that I could have sworn it was in this article. Well, anyway, if you dig, you can find it. I want to point out how 4 blocks equals 511. And news of this man's death falling on the date 511. Remember, the word killing sums to 115 in the same cipher and the reverse alphabetic order. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks to everybody for jumping in. Peace, love, God bless, and we'll talk to you next time, guys. Adios.